Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and I just actually realized about 5 minutes before starting my camera rolling for this video that today marks the 5-year anniversary of my very first video upload to YouTube, February 13th, 2011, with a video submission to a Superman video contest being held by Geekvolution, who I was following very heavily at the time and have kept up with them, worked with them with their Who Reviews the Reviewers sort of contest and everything like that, won season 2, and, all that kind of stuff. I mean, I was on YouTube for about a year and a half maybe before I actually started making videos, and I had a completely different channel. I had 2 channels previously to ever making this channel, one after the other. One I had gotten some negative attention on, and I decided to delete, decided to sort of rebrand my channel, if you will, and I was just strictly a viewer of videos and commenter, didn't do videos, anything like that. And I had stumbled across a couple of people that became highly inspirational to me in making videos. One was Geekvolution, one was my good friend Mike Adams, whose channel I recommend if you love comic book stuff, and especially film scores, all that kind of stuff. And these were some of the most influential people because they just turned on a camera and started talking about really cool pop culture, comic booky kind of stuff. And I was like, I could do this. I could just pop on a camera, have a conversation with these people, my peers and everything. And that first video, it was weird because my first sort of handful of videos, I called myself Rave, because the whole gist of the, Superman video contest was we were going to be reacting, sort of playing a role. How would we assume we'd react to Superman if he were real? And he suddenly debuted himself to the world. And I was still on my really old school mobile device at the time, and I couldn't upload a video. I hadn't figured out at that point how to upload a video up to 4 minutes. 4.5 minutes-ish was my limit on the previous device. And at that time, I had only even figured out how to do about like a minute, 20 seconds or whatever it is. So that first video is actually me sitting right where I am now on the corner of my bed in my bedroom, where, by the way, I film all of my videos. I just sit on the side of my bed usually, or if I'm out in my living room, you see those from time to time as well, especially on my secondary channel, where it's vlogs and outtakes and such, primarily on that channel. But I thought it'd be really cool to kind of like get back into this position, sit here again, and I had the glasses, I had the hat, but I was calling myself Rave. I was playing a character. And because I had gotten it into my head that, there has to be a continuity on YouTube for the next couple videos, even though I wasn't playing a character, I was being myself. I was still saying, hey, this is Rave and everything like that. And then finally I would be like, what am I doing? My name is not Rave. I'm not known as Rave. Never been called that in my life. It was a character for this contest video. People need to know who I really am. And there are some people who even still question, what's with the hat and the glasses? You're not a blues brother and everything like that. They don't know the history of, my personal life offline in the middle 90s when I had just become obsessed with the Blues Brothers. It was something I had on again, off again familiarity with. It was something passed down to me by my dad. And when he passed away, I felt sort of a mutual commemorating of both him and this, musical group comedy act of John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd. And I and a partner decided to put together a sort of tribute act. And for about a year and a half, almost 2 years, we did some local, sort of home-based performances at, family parties and that kind of thing. And I had gone through a couple of different partners. One was my cousin and brother from another mother, who unfortunately we never got to. That was where it was starting to taper off, and I realized, I didn't want to be John Belushi. I didn't want to be Jake Blues. It wasn't like that, and so it started tapering off, and we didn't really get to do anything, my cousin and I, with it. But I also then sort of had a reawakening that, I love the whole blues thing, and everyone was calling me the Blues Man because I was so knowledgeable with the back history of the Blues Brothers and Saturday Night Live, where it originated, and because I was a trivia aficionado to a point. Don't remember any of that stuff anymore, but you could ask me a question and I'd point blank answer you with details, date, time, this all kind of whatever, who was involved with this, that, and the other thing, the production of the movie, the writing of it, performances, the band, and everything like that. Everybody's name, everybody's birth date. I could rifle it off the top of my head. And so I was the blues man among personal circles. And so eventually when I was like, I finally had gotten over that fear, that hurdle of making a video and actually trying to make an attempt at doing videos on YouTube, I was like, they got to see me. I can't play Rave. I can't play this character that was meant for just a contest video anyway. And so I finally just said, hey, this is sXeblues. This is Johnny Blues. I am the blues man. And in the early going, I was covering like entertainment news and reacting to stories and trailers and everything. Eventually, I realized with my mobile device at the time, I could watch anime, which was a passion of mine in the late 90s. And I took about a 10-year hiatus because I just had no means of keeping up with it, apart from walking into a local Best Buy and buying the occasional box set when I can afford one. So now that I was online again, I started up with, I think it was Kids on the Slope, from the creators of Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo, basically all that kind of stuff. And it just re-inflamed my love for anime. And I was talking about comic books. I did, comic book trade reviews, a couple of manga ones here and there. And I made just a lot of friends over this 5-year period. Some have come and gone. Some I've broken ties with because they were a little sketchy or what have you. Some have remained tried and true, and that goes for you, my viewers, as well. Anyone who has taken the time to watch my videos and comment on them, have a conversation, I consider you all friends. You're all my peers. We're all on the same level. It's not about fame and fortune. It's about just sharing ideas and sharing a discussion that, unfortunately, I just don't have the opportunity for in my offline life. I come online to find those people who share those similar interests where it's, non-existent offline and everything like that. Plus dealing with being somewhat of an introvert and having social anxieties. I mean, I can just sit here and pop on a camera and start the ball rolling for a conversation, something I want to talk about, something I want to share with you guys, and we just jam from there on. If I had more time and more access to live events and those kinds of things, I can't use the Google, Live or whatever it is, Google streaming service. But there are other things that I have been able to use and such like that. And just a matter of being so busy offline and, only barely finding time to do videos in the first place. But I keep coming back to it because it's a genuine pleasure. I mean, I've met people I consider to be much closer to family than even friends, than even the family I still have living in this world after having lost so many, my parents, grandparents, this, that, and the other thing. You guys know who you are. And it's just one of those things, man, where like, I'm just grateful to know the people that come back and have a conversation. The people who say, hey, I had enjoyed your conversation, what you were saying about this, that, or the other thing. People who come on and correct me if I get something wrong or clarify something because, like the Gundam series, I may not have that much of a familiarity with it. And I got people coming on who love it, who know it like the back of their hand and can point me in the direction of other series I might like. Or this is where this reference comes from and this, that, and the other thing. I can have... I've been so very fortunate to have people sending me gifts, great friends who have sent me gifts because they know, in the case of my good friend Howard, I've done unboxings of Doctor Who merch and everything like that. My friend Z, my friend Michael, my brother and sister from another mother, Mr. Joe and Tina, have just gone to great lengths to send both I and my sis stuff over the holidays and for our birthdays and everything. And we've sent stuff back to them. And, it's that kind of thing, man. All of this is largely, it was unexpected to me. All of this prosperity and friendship that I have been gifted. And, I don't even feel like I'm that big a deal. It's like, I see a lot of people getting channel takedowns going on, copyright strikes from, anime conglomerates and this, that, and the other thing. And I actually had a conversation with my sister. Like, I would be really bummed if that ever happened to my channel. But I don't necessarily know, like nothing is backed up. So I'd probably lose it all. And I don't know if anything that I've actually put online is worth keeping around. It's just kind of like timely, in the time that the things are uploaded and the discussions are uploaded. And is there really a lasting resonance to it? I don't know. That I leave that for you guys, the people who watch the content, listen to the content, become part of the conversation. if you think there's something of value in what I'm doing, then I think there is. You know, beyond that, I don't know. But it struck me as so odd and so weird that it's the 5th anniversary of my very first upload. After that year and a half of just coasting and watching people and commenting from time to time, finally summoning up the courage to put my voice out there. Granted, it took a little while to find my footing. And I like to think that I'm very naturalistic with my approach. I just pop on a camera. Sometimes I do have to edit because, like anyone else, sometimes I stutter, I hem, I haw, and, you know, I have to cut things out. I just love the ones where I get attacked from the phlegm creature and I'm like, you know, clearing my throat. I gotta cut all that out of a video. Sometimes it takes hours. And that's why videos are up later than usual, later than some other people and everything like that. But this, I feel like part of a community. I feel like, you know, even though I'm somewhat, you know, off on my own because of my own time requirements and, you know, availability online and everything like that, the tech that I have, just a mobile device, you know, recording on it, editing on it, uploading from it, that's the limit of what I have, you know, to be able to do any of this. And the sheer number one reason, apart from the, you know, unending love and support from my sis as well. Most importantly, she is my best friend. But it's all you guys. You know, it's every friend I've made and anyone who takes the time to comment, especially to keep coming back commenting. I consider you a friend. I consider you a peer. You know, because you never had to give any of your time to this guy. You know, you don't have to waste your time listening to me, this jackanape with a camera who just wants to share thoughts and ideas and have a conversation, celebrate things that are awesome, that I just love, and I know you guys love too. And from day one, I just always felt like we're hanging out in my living room, you know, you and me, however many of you out there are. We're all hanging out in a room, we're chilling. This is what it would be like. We're just jamming, talking about stuff we frickin' love. And to have gotten so much of that love back over these years, it's just, I never expected it. And it just means the world to me, you know, to have this hobby, to just be shooting the breeze and, you know, in however many ways, in you know, whatever kind of ways, it's speaking to you guys and you're speaking back to me. And it's just, that's awesome. You know, that's what makes this awesome. So, yeah, this video is kind of, I'm not really going to do anything celebratory. I'm just noting for posterity, that's 5 years, man, that ever since I uploaded that first video and this wacky, weird, wild journey that I've been on. And it's largely all thanks to you guys. And, you know, I'm sure this won't last forever. It probably won't for any of us. You know, I'm sure there will come a time where we all move on and this, that, and the other thing. Explore new vistas, as George Carlin once said. And, but for now, for the here and now, thank you all so much for sticking with me, for continuing to come back and have a conversation, for the support, for the kind words. And, you know, let's see what the future brings. Catch y'all later. Peace.